Kokichi. Leader! 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 I snapped my head up, with wide eyes, seeing Anaki standing over me, tapping my shoulder. Yes? I yelled, a little annoyed from being abruptly woken up. She jumped back at my response, but calmed her posture. You have school in 10 minutes. Sorry for not waking you up earlier. I cut her off, jumping out of my seat. Oh my god, I can't be late! I yelled, rushing to get ready in time. I grabbed my backpack and shoved my notebook and textbook into it, grabbed my shoes and rushed out the door, yelling a brief goodbye before slamming the door behind me. I ran on the sidewalk and got some weird looks from some people on the street or in the grass. I ignored them and ran until I got past the front gate. I got there and the first bell had just rung, meaning I could take a breather and walk to my homeroom. While I was walking over to class, I heard people whispering in the hallways. The only words I could hear are Kyoko Kirigiri and a new student. I shrugged and took my seat with a huff. Oh, hey, Kokichi. I'm assuming you're not exactly excited for school. Nagito said from beside me, pulling his notebook out of his bag and softly placing it on the table. No shit! I yelled, making him flinch. I calmed my gaze with a sigh and grabbed my notebook, placing it on the table in front of me. Sorry, I didn't mean to anger you, Nagito said, his voice clipping on his words. It's fine, I just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I sighed, putting my head in my folded arms on the table. It was because of the reading for Miss Monofian's class, all 14 chapters, right? He asked, seeming to calm down a bit. Yeah, except I didn't do the reading yesterday, so I had to read about 17 chapters in one night, I said, words getting mumbled by my clothes, but Nagito seemed to hear me anyway. That's not the best. I'm sorry, Kokichi, he said, chiding himself. No, it's not your fault. I should have managed my time better. I whispered into my arms, pleading for the bell to ring so I could get this hell over with. Ring, ring. Ah! Nagito gasped when the bell chimed out. I laughed a little, seeing how he was so distraught. Welcome to class, Ultimates! Miss Monomi exclaimed, clasping her hands together. Some people greeted her back, but the majority gave displeased groans. This made her frown slightly, before a smile was planted back on her face. I hope you all got the reading done. You should be at chapter 57, she announced, giving a side glance to me when my head came up slightly, making me flinch. Well, today we write 3 paragraphs about the development of the characters. Make sure you get your 3 different plot points that cause this change in each paragraph, she said, before taking a seat at her desk, opening the book we were reading with a small smile. I groaned and looked over at Nagito, who gave me a pained glance. I grabbed my computer and opened the document for the class, where there were already about 25 paragraphs about the same damn book, give or take. I typed the best I could without wanting to scream and pull out my hair. This is probably my worst class. Oh, you must be the new student, Suichi Saihara, right? I looked up, curious. That must be the new student people were talking about earlier. Suichi. Kyoko and I walked toward the school, Hope's Peak. Today was the day I had to start my new life here, as a vampire. Kyoko reassures me that it's going to be okay, and I will fit in after the first couple of days. I pulled my hat down over my eyes. Why did it have to be so damn sunny today? I felt my skin crawl from the warmth of my black uniform. Okay, here is your schedule, Suichi. I will take you to your homeroom. You can handle navigating after that. If you have any problems, you can text me. Don't worry about getting in trouble. I told them I would need to stay in contact with you for health reasons, Kyoko said, handing me my schedule and giving me my phone. Thank you, Kyoko, I said, not knowing what else to say, to show an ounce of the gratitude I had for everything she and Kathy had done for me because of my condition. Of course, she said before we walked the rest of the way to my homeroom in silence. When we got there, the teacher gave her a confused glance before she looked over to me. Oh, you must be the new student, Suichi Saihara, right? she exclaimed, making the eyes of the multitude of students all turn down to me. I looked up briefly, and the first thing I saw was hard to miss. Purple hair and purple eyes. Yes, he is starting here today, Kyoko said, making the woman give me a bright smile. Okay, you can go sit in that spot behind Kokichi and Nagito, right next to Hajime. She pointed to the desk right above the boy with the purple hair. He must be Nagito or Kokichi then. Thank you, ma'am, I said quietly before taking my seat at the back of the class. Kyoko gave me a small smile before she walked out of the room. So, you must be the new student I've heard so much about, Shuichi, the boy with purple hair said, turning around to face me, making the other male with white hair and pink tips do the same. Yeah, I said, pulling my hat down, feeling embarrassed by his teasing and cute demeanor. Oh, my name is Kokichi Homa, but you can call me Kokichi, and this is Nagito, he said, introducing himself before pointing to Nagito when he said his name. So, Shuichi. He paused, putting his hand to his chin, deep in thought. What's your schedule like? He asked, looking at the paper folded in my hand. Oh, here you go. I'm not sure where any of my classes are, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out, I said, not wanting to draw more attention to myself. Oh? He said, widening, his eyes widening as he looked at my paper. What's wrong? I asked, getting more embarrassed, thinking that something was off about my schedule. Nothing, Shuichi. We just have all the same classes, he said with a smirk, making my blush deepen. Oh, is that so? I said, trying my hardest not to stutter. Yep, so that means I can show you around, my beloved, he said in his teasing tone again. Beloved? I asked with a stutter, making myself cry by how weak my voice sounded. Yeah, my beloved Shuichi needs some help, and I, Kokichi, am willing to give you the help you need, he exclaimed over the noise of the other students discussing what they wrote. I guessed, seeing numbers written down my schedule when he passed it back to me. There's my phone number, so if you need any help getting caught up or just need to talk, then call me, he said with a wink before he and Nagito turned back around and went back to their work. Sorry about that, Shuichi, I heard Hajime say from beside me, looking up from his paper. They can be a little over the top sometimes, he said, rubbing the back of his neck awkwardly. Yeah, I said, looking at the paper in front of me unconsciously, tracing the letters with a smile. Anyway, you're reading this book and we're already in chapter 57. But you could ask Kokichi to catch you up, he said, passing me a copy of the book with the number 8 on it. Thank you, I said, taking the book out of his hands. Of course. Oh, remember to tell Miss Monofian that you have book number 8, so she can put it into the system that the book is the one you have, Hajime said before turning back to his computer and continued typing. This is going to be a long day. Yes? I yelled, a little annoyed from being abruptly woken up. That was annoyed. That was scared, because I was scared because I scared myself. Remember when I was writing this, I was like envisioning it, so I like panicked when... Anyway, moving on.